the reason behind every betrayal. You already know what it is. Deep down, you've always known. Because you've already felt that pit in your stomach when your partner laughed that way with someone else, or when they took too long to respond to that specific message. I am Zeus, 5,000 years watching you repeat the same self-destructive pattern. And in the next 13 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how you're being set up to be betrayed, or how you're already betraying and don't even realize it. This is going to hurt much more than you imagine. But you already clicked, so let's go.
Before we begin, tell me in the comments, what part of the world are you watching this from? Because betrayal is universal. Doesn't matter if you're in Brazil, United States, Japan, the pattern is exactly the same. Now, let's get to what matters. From atop Olympus, I witnessed the first betrayal in human history. Adam and Eve. She had everything, literal paradise, perfect companion, eternal life. And even so, she betrayed it all for an interesting conversation with a snake. The pattern never changed. Centuries later, I observed Cleopatra seduce Julius Caesar, then Mark Antony, then whoever else was convenient. It wasn't love, it was strategy, it was power, it was validation. And you have Tinder, Instagram, WhatsApp, apps that turn betrayal into a hobby. But here's what you don't realize. Every betrayal starts in the same psychological place. It's not about physical attraction. It's not about lack of love. It's about a wound you carry and don't even know exists. And when you understand this wound, when you finally see the pattern your unconscious mind follows, you'll look at your current relationship and think, my God, it's already happening. Because it is. It always is. That friend who understands you better. That colleague who values you more. That ex who texted just to see how you are. Oh, sweet, naive mortals. You think it's coincidence? What interesting timing, right? Just when things are complicated at home. But here's what you don't know. What will genuinely disturb you is discovering that you want to be betrayed. Yes, your unconscious is creating the conditions for it to happen. And I am going to prove it.
Let's go straight to the cruel neuroscience. In your brain, there's something called the dopaminergic reward system. It's literally an addictive circuit. And you know what most activates this circuit? Uncertainty. When you're in a stable, predictable relationship, the brain stops releasing dopamine. You become bored, hungry for new stimulation. Now, this is where it gets psychologically dark. You begin unconsciously to sabotage the stability you have. Because stability doesn't generate dopamine. Chaos does. But Zeus, I want a stable relationship. Your conscious mind wants it, dear mortal, but your reptilian core is screaming for drama, for intensity, for that chemical rush that only uncertainty can provide. And here are the signs of self-sabotage you never notice. First, you stop making effort. He already loves me anyway. I don't need to impress anymore. Fatal error. Second, you create unnecessary conflicts. You fight over nonsense because fighting generates intensity, and intensity generates dopamine. Third, you leave portals open. That active Instagram, that WhatsApp you don't show your partner, that friendship you know isn't just friendship. But here's where it becomes terrifying. You do this because deep down, you want to have an exit. You want to have options because the idea of being trapped forever with one person terrifies you. And when someone new appears, someone who represents possibility, novelty, fresh validation, boom, the brain explodes with dopamine. You feel alive again. It's true love. No, it's natural cocaine. It's your brain finally receiving the drug it was desperately seeking. And here's the part that will destroy you emotionally. You don't betray despite loving your partner. You betray because you love. Because real, stable, predictable love is boring for a brain addicted to intensity. This is where most people get it completely wrong.
Let me show you how you execute this self-sabotage in real life. Observe Hollywood divorces. What a perfect laboratory for studying repetitive human stupidity. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. Decades-long relationship, beautiful family. He did everything for her. And her, she betrayed him with their own son's best friend. Why? Because Will was predictable, always there, always available, always safe. And August Alsina, he represented danger, novelty, forbidden. The pattern isn't about love, mortals. It's about brain chemistry. And guess what happened after she publicly admitted it? Will went back to her because now she became unpredictable again. She became the source of uncertainty. But it's not just celebrities. I see this every week among you. Pattern A, the wife who complains that her husband doesn't pay attention to her. Then a guy appears at work who hangs on her every word, who treats her like she's fascinating. He understands me. Of course he understands, dear. You've known each other for 3 months. Anyone is interesting for 3 months. Pattern B, the husband who works too much and is always tired for his wife, but mysteriously has infinite energy for that new secretary who laughs at all his jokes. She makes me feel young again. Yeah, because she hasn't seen you crying with stomach pain or arguing about the electric bill, right? Pattern C, the couple posting passionate photos on Instagram while both have been emotionally cheating with different people for months. But the most shocking part is, you know you're doing this. Deep down, you know exactly where that innocent friendship is leading. You know those WhatsApp conversations aren't just friendship. But you continue because dopamine is stronger than conscience. And then you're shocked when inevitability happens. I don't know how this happened. It just happened. Lies. You orchestrated every step, unconsciously, but deliberately.
If you're recognizing these patterns, if something I said is bothering you, give this video a like, because truth always bothers. Now I'll reveal the pattern that connects all betrayals in history. You betray to feel special again. Every betrayal, at the deepest psychological core, is about wounded ego. It's about proving you're still desirable, that you still have value, that you can still conquer. But here's the part that will destroy you. You create the conditions to be treated as common by your partner. How? You stop being mysterious. You stop having your own life. You stop being challenging. You become roommates who occasionally have sex. And then you're offended when your partner stops treating you like a prize. How adorably naive. When someone new appears, someone who doesn't know your irritating habits, your insecurities, your predictable routines, someone who sees you through idealized lenses, it's irresistible. And here's the terrifying truth that no one talks about. The betrayed partner always facilitates the betrayal. Not consciously, but they stop validating, stop showing genuine desire, stop making their partner feel chosen. They treat their partner as guaranteed. And when someone new appears, treating your partner like rare treasure, when they give that focused attention, when they make them feel special again, game over. You want to know the most brutal truth about me and Hera? We've been betraying each other mutually for millennia. And you know why? Because we both know that betrayal keeps the relationship alive, keeps the uncertainty, keeps the dopamine flowing. I'm not recommending this for mortals. You don't have eternity to resolve the consequences. But here's the final pattern. All of you have the potential to betray. All of you, no matter how faithful you consider yourselves, no matter how many years together. Because all of you have ego, all need validation, all are addicted to feeling special. The only difference is circumstance and opportunity.
Now, the truth that will haunt you forever. You are not victims of betrayal. You are co-creators of it. Through daily micro-negligences, through taking for granted, through stopping courting the person you already conquered. You know what's the difference between couples who never betray each other and couples who mutually destroy themselves? Those who never betray, never stop conquering each other. They remain curious about each other. They continue actively validating. They continue treating their partner like a fresh conquest. While you relax. Already conquered, already mine. I can stop making effort. Fatal error, dear mortals, because while you relax, someone else is willing to make the effort you stopped making. Want definitive proof? Pay attention next week. How many times do you genuinely ask how your partner's day was and actually listen to the answer? How many times do you look into their eyes without being on your phone? How many times do you make them feel chosen instead of obligatory? If the answer is rarely, you're already being betrayed. Maybe not physically, yet, but emotionally. Definitely. Betrayal isn't about morality, mortals. It's about basic human needs being met or neglected. What will you choose to do with this information?
If this revelation affected you, if you're seeing your own relationship with different eyes now, subscribe to the channel, because I have many more inconvenient truths to share.
Now, in the comments, I want total honesty. First question. Have you recognized yourselves in any of these patterns, as betrayed or as betrayal? Second question. What was the sign you ignored before being betrayed, or that you're ignoring now? And here's the divine challenge. Observe the relationships around you this week. Count how many are following exactly these self-destructive patterns. I bet you'll find at least 5 examples, because you mortals are magnificently predictable. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, even if it hurts. And since we talked about self-destructive patterns, in the next video, I'll reveal the lie you tell yourself every day. That lie that's sabotaging your entire life, and you don't even realize you're telling it. The connection to betrayal? Whisper. This lie is exactly what makes you vulnerable to being betrayed. Until then, mortals, try to actually look at your partners this week. It will be revealing.